Welcome to Jesus On, a look at today's issues from an eternal perspective. Pastor Zack and Pastor John will be giving us biblical insight into some of the problems the world faces today. Sit back and listen as we hear Jesus On, the problems you're dealing with right now.
Hey, welcome to the Jesus On podcast. My name is Zack, and this is my wife, Melissa.
Hi, hello.
Usually Pastor John joins me on this Jesus On podcast. Pastor John is on sabbatical, and we are actually doing kind of a focus on marriage and family. And so I thought I'd invite my wife, Melissa, here to just talk about family and marriage things. And so today we are doing Jesus On family mission statements. That's become something pretty important to us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, nowhere in the Bible does Jesus say, here's what your family mission statement should be. But what we do find is that Jesus had a very clear mission statement for himself. He said in that incredible story with Zacchaeus, he said, the Son of Man, he's speaking of himself, the Son of Man has come to seek and save the lost. That was his mission statement. He says in another place, the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and give his life for a ransom for many. So Jesus clearly had his own personal mission statement that directed the way that he lived. Thoughts on your side?
Yeah, well, not only did Jesus have his mission statement, but he also gave a mission statement to his disciples.
Mm-hmm.
We find in the books of the gospel in Acts that he told them to go and make disciples. And in each of those books, he maybe said it a little bit differently, but it's very clear that that was his mission for them.
Yeah, in all four gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and Acts, like you said, Jesus gives the disciples a very clear, and Christians, not just disciples, a very clear mission statement. Go and make disciples. And when you read the book of Acts, that's what they're doing. They're fulfilling that. They knew their marching orders. So though we don't see in Jesus saying every family needs to have a mission statement, we did see that he had a mission statement. He gave his followers a mission statement. And I just think it's really helpful for every family to consider having a mission statement. So let's maybe just talk for a second why family mission statements are so important. Let's start here. What happens when a family doesn't have a mission statement? What have you experienced?
Well, we're recently coming out of a season of realizing we were not living according to our mission statement. So we ended up getting overly booked. We were busy. We really value doing things together, but we found that we were separating so that we could take each kid to their different activities. So I find it's important to have your mission statement and to live by it. Otherwise, you end up just running all around.
Busyness,
yes. Being separated as far as location.
And I wonder if we get comfortable too, not just busy, but comfortable. I was having a conversation with a friend this morning who doesn't have kids. It's just him and his wife. That's their family. And he was just talking about how there's, they eat dinner and they put a show on and watch TV. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but he was sharing it in a kind of way of like, is this really what we want to be about? And I think you're spot on that when we don't have a mission statement, we just kind of drift and fall into whatever is set before us. So
say yes to things that maybe don't really matter, and no to things that do, because we don't have that margin.
And that's where I was going with why mission statements, family mission statements are so important is they clarify what you should say yes to. And then they also clarify what you say no to. And it helps identify the right things to say yes to and the good things to say no to. So we wrote a mission statement a few years ago that has helped guide us. And like Melissa, you said, we have had moments where we've had to revisit it and go, okay, are we really living this? So those might be watching or listening to this. How do I create a family mission statement? We kind of consider three things. We consider the season of life we are in, because we're a family with 4 kids right now. Not everyone has 4 kids. Some people might even be single. So season of life, core values, what matters most. That was a big help for us. And then the other thing that we did was we looked 10 years ahead, 15 years ahead, kind of thought about our kids graduating and thought like, where do we want to be? And then we took about an hour and wrote down kind of our core values and came up with a family mission statement. Any thoughts, anything else that you'd add, just helping people who want to sit down and actually create a mission statement for their family?
Well, I think what's helpful about looking is the distance is that, at the time, maybe our youngest was 1. And so when you're able to look out in the future, you're able to say, okay, well, in 10 years, what do we want our family to be like with our youngest being 10? So I think it's important to look to the future, not just right now, but to look ahead too as you construct your mission statement.
So when we wrote our mission statement, we identified a couple of core values, things that we said, this is really important to us. The first one is we wanted Jesus to be the most important thing in our family. We said we want our kids to love the church. We want our kids to enjoy going to church. We want church to be a big part of our life. Foster care. We're foster parents. It's a family thing. That was super valuable. And then we just time together as a family, adventures, as much family time as possible. And here was our mission statement. Our mission is to be a tight-knit family that loves Jesus more than anything. We do this by spending time together through activities and adventures, being connected to our church and sharing Christ through hospitality to others. Closing thoughts here. How have you seen our mission statement, family mission statement, give us more? How have you seen it lived out in real time in decisions that we make?
Yeah, talking about Jesus being number 1 and being very, very connected with our church, is we made the maybe not so popular decision to put church ahead of our kids' soccer games. And so we, 99% of the time, we would miss a game. Our kids would miss playing in the game because we really valued going to church. And thankfully, our kids do love church, that it hasn't been a big discussion. They just know. And I think that's one thing that's helpful when you have this statement, the mission statement. They know, we know, their coaches know at the beginning of this season, because we've made this, we realize what we're going and moving towards, and we're just living it out.
And it's not our mission statement. It's all of our mission statements. And our kids know, like it's a conversation. Hey, you know that if there's a game scheduled during church, we're going to go to that. If there's a soccer practice during youth group, we're going to go to youth group. And there's exceptions. Zoe made it to the state championship game, and it was 11:30, and we said, yeah, you can go to that. That's such a good example. I think about a family mission trip. It's a chunk of money for us, and we've just said, hey, we're going to go on a mission trip every year, because that's in our mission statement. So any just words of encouragement and or challenges you might give?
Yeah, what comes to mind is, don't make your mission statement on our mission statement or on what someone else's family thinks you should be doing. Is just, whether you're single or married, kids, no kids, is really take those different areas and evaluate for yourself.
I'd say sit down for an hour and with whoever you need to make this with, whether it's your spouse or maybe you're single and that's your family in this season, and define those core values, write them down, and think about yourself in 10, 20 years, and then just write something. And maybe every year you need to tweak it here and there as your season changes. But this will give you clarity on the right things to say yes to. But most importantly, the really good things that come into your life that you just say, no, we're not going to do that, so that we're able to accomplish our mission. So we hope this is helpful to you as much as it's been helpful to us. So go and write a family mission statement. Thanks for joining us.